Hi, it's Mike with AskTractorMike.com. Got a viewer letter today asking about negotiating on a new tractor that's really not new. It's been sitting on the dealer's lot for a while. Number one, how do I tell that? And number two, can I negotiate a better price on that? And so I'm going to go kind of from a dealer standpoint and tell you what goes on behind the scenes with dealers that are trying to move aged inventory. Let's get to the letter. Letter says, Mike, I've been researching which tractor I'm going to buy for my 20-plus acre camp for 2+ years. I've decided on and I'm not going to tell you the brand and model number, mainly because there is a dealer only 4 miles away. I pass a different brand dealer on the way to camp. There's another, same brand as the model he's thinking about buying, dealer, that's 10 miles from home. Sounds like we've got two dealers 14 miles apart. Ooh, that's close together. All right, let's get back to the letter. The reason for my question is, I've been watching all three dealers' websites and lots, and one dealer had one tractor sitting on the lot for 3 years, and their website listed it at first as a 22 model, then a 23 model, then as a 24 model, and the price changed every year also. Now, it's possible it's a popular setup with the loader and rear snowblower, and they've ordered one each year, but it would be parked in the same spot all of the time. So how do I decode the VIN number so I can negotiate a good deal? Keith. Okay, Keith, I'm going to go into some different inside information about the business. To answer your question, it's really tough to get actually we call them serial numbers, not VIN numbers on tractors. But you can go on the lot, get the serial number, and the place I would go to enter it is the Value Insight portal on the internet. And I did a video about that. I'll put a link at the end. You can enter the information in there, and it may or may not tell you what year it is. Manufacturers are real sensitive about telling you what year of tractors they produce. A lot of times on older tractors you can go to tractordata.com and enter that model number, and it will list serial number breaks, and you can pinpoint what year your tractor serial number is. But on a new tractor, manufacturers really don't want you to know that. Kubota actually does not publish a serial number break on their tractors. So the only way really for you to find out what year a Kubota is based on the serial number is to go to a dealer and have them enter that serial number in, and they can tell you what it is. But as far as the other brands go, some of them are pretty open about that and some are not. But if you've got a tractor on a dealer's lot that looks aged, usually you can walk around it and look at it and tell if it's been sitting. The seat starts to fade a little bit, the paint starts to fade. You can look around exposed metal parts, like around maybe the drawbar, if they've hooked anything up to it or had anything on it. And if it's been sitting for 3 years, you're going to start to see rust. Now, what happens behind the scenes with a dealer that's got an older tractor? Well, first off, a 40 horsepower tractor is a common seller. It shouldn't be something that dealer doesn't sell that much of. But the bigger question I've got is, why do they only have one on their lot? In my area, 40 horsepower is the most popular seller. And if you only have one on the lot, you don't have enough to supply inventory. And Keith, I don't know your area. I don't know how many compact tractors are sold, but if there's, a fair number of compact tractors sold, I can't believe the dealer only has one. And if it's one that's 3 years old, yeah, you should be able to negotiate a lower price. But here's what happens in the background with your dealer. Most dealers are completely focused on not paying interest on inventory. And when I was in the business, and I'm not sure how it is now, but when a manufacturer built a product, they would put it on a dealer's lot for free for a period. And it's called floor planning. They would floor plan it interest-free for a period. I don't know how it is now, and manufacturers are trying to get away from this. But when I was in business on compact tractors, it was generally around 5 or 6 months they would put it out there. And if the dealer sold it within 5 or 6 months, they paid no interest on it. And so whatever the price was on the invoice minus program discounts, that's what they paid. But if it sat there longer than 6 months, then at 6 months you start paying what's called curtailments, which is saying you're paying off part of the machine, and then you pay curtailments usually maybe 30% of the machine in 3 equal payments, and at the end it's paid off. And as that goes on, you're paying interest. The clock starts ticking on interest. And so it's really incumbent on the dealer to get the tractor moved during the floor plan terms. And that means a lot of your smaller dealers will only order the bare minimum they can to supply demand. And I was a factory rep for AGCO Corporation. I saw this all the time. Most of my dealers, and I would be the same way, didn't want to pay interest on anything. So they would try to space their orders apart so they just got in the inventory they needed. I had one dealer that was not like that. He looked at every piece of equipment as a profit opportunity, and he didn't want to sell out of an empty bag, and he was pretty crazy about ordering. I remember sitting in his office one time getting ready to do the order writing program for disc mowers, and I was going to ask him to order 10, and I didn't say anything. I said, "How many of these do you want to order?" And he said 20. And so from that point on, I kept my mouth shut. And that's actually the dealership I went to work for, and they've got a lot of inventory, but they sell a lot of stuff. So I've always thought that in the customer's mind, when you drive up to a dealer's lot, if they've got 3 tractors in stock, it doesn't really look like they're committed and serious about the business. But if they've got 30 tractors on the lot, you're like, wow, these guys are serious about selling me a tractor. I can buy it and take it home or have it delivered quickly. And it really changes your psychology about that dealership. And I consequently, as a factory rep, always, I wanted my dealers to be successful. I didn't want my product to cost them a lot of money. I wanted them to make money with my product, but I would try to get them to order enough to make it look like you're really in business. I remember when I was with AGCO Corporation, I set up a dealer that was kind of tight on funding, and they were real conservative about inventory, and they only wanted to order 3 tractors. And I let them do that, and they didn't last very long. It sends a message to customers that you're not committed to the line if you have that much of a limited inventory. So Keith, what really concerns me here is you've got two tractor dealers selling the same product 14 miles apart, and that's too close. I would say that neither one of them is doing real well with that franchise. And of course, what probably will happen over time, one of them is going to go out of business, and the danger to you is if you buy a tractor from either one of them and they both decide they're going to give up the franchise, then where do you get parts and service? It damages the resale value of your tractor. Some companies that are not as well established in North America may struggle with distribution, and they'll bend their standards a little bit and sign up a guy that's had like a tractor repair shop as a dealer and never had a new franchise, and they'll be a low stocking dealer, and you'll get situations like this. But hope that answers your question, Keith. There's not really a great way of telling by the serial number what year the tractor is, what year it was produced and shipped. But in a perfect world, you should be able to negotiate on a 3-year-old tractor that's never sold. But if that dealer's trying to get all of his interest costs back on the deal, and bear in mind, tractors generally go up about anywhere from 2 to 5% a year in price. They won't change generally unless there's new model numbers come out, but the price will be increased. And so that tractor cost him less than a new tractor would if it's 3 years old. And so he should be able to negotiate on it, but if he's wanting to get all of his interest costs back, he may be just digging his heels in and saying, not going to do it. So hope that helps. Here at the end, I'm going to post a link to the Value Insight portal video I did. You might be able to find out what year it is by entering the serial number there. Here's another video you might want to watch, and here's a link to subscribe to my YouTube channel and to check out my website. Thanks for watching.